I'm going to sink down slow with one arm. And once I hit my threshold, I'm going to sit down, come back up, and up. So today is going to be a mobility dominant day. At the gym kind of late. So last night I was at the gym pretty late, and then feel like usually when one thing goes out of schedule, it ends up affecting other things down the line. So last night I was here pretty late, which affected my sleep a little. So I ended up taking a longer nap after work, which then resulted in me coming here late again. But it is what it is. I did go on like a 5K, whatever 3 miles is, a 3 mile run uh, at around 1:30. So I did work out a little uh, before right now. But so the past couple of days have been fairly intense and with not too much focus on mobility. So today is going to be a mobility dominant day with weight training. Most people consider mobility to be like stretching and stuff like that. Personally, I don't think stretching is nearly as good or provides as much mobility benefits like stretch strength exercises. What I mean by stretch strength exercises is you're taking your muscle groups through full range of motion while having a resistance element to it. So starting off with some hip and hamstring mobility. So it's going to target the adductors, which is the groin area, and the hamstrings. So with the landmine, we're going to hold it at around chest position or upper chest with both hands. Spread my legs out a little, and then sit down, and then move side to side. After 5, I'm going to keep my legs wide again, and then squat alternatively into those positions. So going for 5 each side. How deep you go will be based on your mobility level. So just play around with how deep the stretch feels for you. So yeah, those two movements really target the adductors or groin area and hamstring quite a bit. Already feeling the hips loosen up. I'm gonna do this for 4 to 5 sets, and then on to the next thing. So for the next set of exercises, sticking with lower body mobility, and still mostly hamstrings as well. But there's going to be some hip flexors in here too. So I'm going to show two variations of it. So for the first variation, uh, a variation of the whole set. So first I'll run through all the exercises that I'm doing, then I'll show a variation that will hit all of the same muscle groups. So keeping my one leg elevated, holding a kettlebell to the side, I'm going to descend, bring my upper body down slowly with the goal of trying to get my chest to knee. That's just the goal. If you don't get there, it's fine. It's like a visualization to get the stretch. I'm gonna go for 5 each side. If you lose balance and stuff, it's fine, but just do your best to keep balance. My back leg can bend a little, but I'm not trying to bend it too much. After 5, I'm going to clean the weight up and put it into rack position. Keep the front foot planted and then descend into a split squat. While in the split position, trying to get the hip flexor to stretch. I hope my head isn't cut out. Going for 5. So that movement, when I'm pressing, it's a quad stretch and a quad push. Supersetting that, and it was supersetted with a hamstring stretch. I'm going to repeat it on the other side. Really trying to mentally connect with the hamstring on each rep. And trying to notice the tightness and try to visualize it loosening up. Clean and split squat. All right, so that's one version of this for the variation I was talking about. So for the variation, I'm going to start off with the split squat. Drop it. Clean as I come up, go into the split squat. So this way, I'm alternating between the two movements and also adding a clean to it. Adding a little bit of a full body component. So pretty much with this is a combination of the previous set that I showed, where I did the split squats and I guess leg elevated stiff leg deadlift separately. Here I'm doing them alternated with a clean. So yeah, gonna do this for a bit. Probably 8 to 10 sets, because it hits quite a bit of parts of the hips and hamstrings and stuff. So yeah, gonna do this for a good 8 to 10 sets. Then probably one more lower body mobility thing before I head to, or do some upper body mobility. So for the next set of exercises, gonna do like a hamstring dominant superset. I don't know, for me personally, the hamstrings seem to be the tightest part, at least at the moment. I don't know if it's because I went on a run today or what, but whatever it is, my hamstrings felt super tight. So I'm deciding to spend a lot more time loosening that up today. Yeah, and I usually spend a lot of time in the sauna doing ATG split squats anyway, so it loosens up my hip flexors. It feels like I haven't been devoting enough time into posterior chain mobility. In any case, most power racks have this thing that you can stand on, and I'm going to use that to keep me elevated. And the benefit of this is I can sink in between my legs to pick up the weight, so I can have the weight in between my feet instead of ahead of my feet. Now I'm going to do a Jefferson curl. So, well, first I'm going to get the weight up, and then push my lower back and glutes out, and then round my back slowly. Be cautious about the weight that you use on this. You don't want to go too heavy. And I'm picturing my head sinking in between my shoulders. And then coming up slowly. It's not bad to round your back. It's just bad to round your back if you're not strong at rounding your back. Does that make sense? So start off light. Like start off maybe without a weight, then with 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever it might be. But rounding your back is not a problem as long as it's strong enough to handle the load in a rounded position, which more often than not isn't. I don't know. There's a lot of nuance there, but let me do the set before I try to unpack all of the nuance. So with a deadlift, so biomechanically, the strongest position is not to have a rounded back. However, if you never round your back gets weaker at the rounded position. So what ends up happening is it makes you more injury prone whenever your back is rounded. So what I mean is, don't round your back when doing your lifts, but rather to train your back in a rounded position, so that if ever there is a situation in which your back does end up getting rounded, you're at a much lesser likelihood for injury. So that doesn't mean do your deadlifts with a rounded back. What it means is, sometimes when you push yourself, there is a tendency for the back to get rounded. By doing movements such as these, you're exposing your back to being in a rounded position under load, which then trains the muscles to be able to handle that. So if you end up in a situation where the back ends up getting rounded due to you trying to challenge yourself, the likelihood that you get injured as a result of that is much lower if you do stuff like this. So did about, 5-6 reps of that. But you guys probably know that I'm a huge fan of unilateral work. So now let's try to target those muscles more unilaterally. So now I've switched to a lighter kettlebell. I'm going to sink down slow with one arm. And once I hit my threshold, I'm going to sit down, come back up, and up. Switching hands. So, targeting a little bit of the groin and hips with the sitting down. So when I reach the threshold and I sit down, I'm kind of focusing on my arms pushing my knees out, which exaggerates the stretch in the hips and the groin area, and then coming back up. So getting a lot of lower back, groin, hamstrings, and quads. I'm gonna do this for a bit, then move to upper body mobility. For the next set of exercises, doing cross bench pullovers with the Bosu ball. So using the Bosu ball allows my back to round more naturally than using a bench. Using two 10-pound kettlebells so that I can individually target each shoulder and serratus. I'm going to alternate for 10 reps each hand. The serratus are the finger-like muscles that exist right above the abs around the rib cages. or both sides of the rib cage, not rib cages. They connect into the lats and shoulders. I'm going to superset that with arm rotations or shoulder rotations. So starting with the kettlebell here, drop it to the side, and move with the momentum. At no point should you be tight. You're just kind of flowing with the weight. Going for 7 each side. I'm going to superset these two for a bit. And I think that'll be it for upper body mobility as well. Probably we'll do tib raises and abs in the sauna. I don't know. Should I do an outro today? Let's do an outro today. So, spent 15 minutes in the sauna. Did tib raises on and off. But yeah, today's workout was mostly mobility based. Actually, all mobility based. It's been so. I've mentioned before that I kind of structure or I plan my workout based on what's been done in recent history, and then pick from something that I haven't done in a while that's important to do, I guess. Mobility was something like, although my workouts generally have some sort of movement where I'm doing full range of motion stuff, it's been a while since I've had like a full dedicated mobility session. So got that out of the way. Also went on a run this morning, afternoon. Trying to get back into that. Going to try and be a little bit more consistent. So yeah, that's mostly it. Let's do a quick posing sesh. I feel a little bloated today. I don't know if it comes across in the video, but I don't know if it's just me, but that pose makes me look really big. But yeah, not looking too bad, I would say. In any case, that's it for today's video. See you all tomorrow.